What's up, everybody? It's Mekel, Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber and host of the #1 podcast in the state of Hawaii, the Kasanova Podcast. I'm back with another review, and this time it's going to be for a game that back in the day I played a lot of, but unfortunately I didn't get to play with a lot of people. And that game is Crash Team Racing, and I have a code for this game. I got it for the Nintendo Switch. It was sent to me by Activision. And that's quite the honor right there. I'm not gonna even fanboy over that. The fact that they're willing to work with me is something that's really near and dear to me. That's just, I'm hyped. Anyway, before I gush all over the place with just excitement with that, we're gonna talk about the game. So in this review, I'm gonna cover graphics, gameplay, and just, you know, the final analysis of whether or not I think this game is actually worth it for you guys. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ding the notification bell, because, you know, we're going to be pumping out a lot of reviews and a lot of content in the coming week. Guaranteed you're going to be getting a new podcast episode every week and a couple of reviews. So with that being said, if you're ready to do it, I'm ready to do it. Let's go ahead and get into this review. So roll the intro. So Crash Team Racing, is it good? Is it worth your time? That would be the typical clickbait type of titles to use with, you know, thumbnails. They're equally clickbaity to get you to click on and see if it's worth your time. I'm not gonna do that. This game's phenomenal. I'm spoiling the review right there. The game's phenomenal. And I'll tell you a couple reasons why. What I really want to talk about is how beautiful this game looks on the Nintendo Switch. Granted, a lot of games that have been coming to the Switch have not been looking very good. You know, Wolfenstein 2, I'm looking at you. Doom, looking at you as well. Bloodstain, looking at you. And the reason I say that is because even though this game running at a lower resolution than the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One and PC, the game looks amazing. This is one of those games, like, even if it's running at 30 frames per second, you just have to look at it and just see how just graphically amazing it is. I mean, just think that this is running on the Switch in motion, like the animations of Crash and the other characters, the fluidity of the motion. Like, I know, you know, being at 30 frames, it feels capped, but it's capped at 30 frames on all consoles. It just looks really good. Like, I'm playing it and I'm like, huh? What? Like, that's just how good it looks. It's, you guys did a good job putting this on the Switch. I mean, if you like the way that the Crash Insane trilogy looked on the Switch, you'll like this game as well. It looks phenomenal. That's enough said about the graphics. It's good. And now when it comes to the gameplay, there have been a lot of kart racers that have come out recently. We've got Team Sonic Racing, which came out a couple weeks before Crash Team Racing. And the thing is, that's also a good game. But I gotta give the edge to Crash Team Racing just because it takes a bit more skill. Actually, it takes a lot more skill to win. And I know a lot of people complain about the rubber banding when you're playing a kart racer or racing games in general, where you can get so far and then it'll rubber band back the people behind you and then push them ahead of you. And that's typical AI type of tactics in kart racers. The thing about Crash Team Racing is no matter how far ahead you are, you never have the comfort or feeling like you're going to definitely win, because at any moment, any slip up is curtains. You're done. You're not going to be able to win. And the mechanic in this game that really sets it apart, I think, from Team Sonic Racing and from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the drifting mechanic, or the power slide mechanic, because like in the other games, if you press one of the shoulder buttons, you'll do like a little hop, right? So if you do that and you hold it and you hold against the direction that you're going, you're gonna start to do a bit of a drift. And once you're doing this drift, you're gonna have a gauge that builds up. And it's the same type of gauge that builds up when you're starting a race and you're doing the countdown and you're pressing accelerator. You know, it'll go 1, 2, 3, or, you know, just like that. So when you're drifting, what you're gonna wanna do is you're going to want to drift and let the gauge hit, and then you tap the alternate shoulder button. So say you're pressing the right bumper or R to drift, and then once that gauge builds up, you'll hit L, and then you keep holding this, and you can build up a second gauge and tap that other shoulder button, the left shoulder button again, and then you'll boost again, and then tap it a third time after you built it up, and then boom, there you go. You got a good little speed boost that's gonna take you to the finish line if you're able to keep the scale going to keep yourself in first place. Now, that's not the only way that you're able to get a speed boost, and that method isn't just, you know, locked to just using the right to drift and then the left bumper to be able to accelerate. You can also alternate them. So either or, whichever button you press, whichever, you know, L or R that you're pressing to do the drift, whichever way you're doing that, the other is gonna alternate. So if you do left, you tap right to do your boost. If you do right, you tap L to do your alternate boost. It's either way. It's very interchangeable. Now the controls feel tight. They're very responsive. The tracks just look simply phenomenal. I like the way that the tracks look. They're very animated, very full of character. And you know, if you look at them, you juxtapose those to the originals and to what they look like now, they're not missing a detail. It looks really good. The tracks are fun. They're very, you know, challenging to master. There's alternate ways through them. The layouts are, they're great. You have ones even from other Crash games as well. So that's one thing I really think is pretty cool. There's a variety of characters. I mean, you have from Crash, Coco, you know, Neo Cortex, and many others. Engine, you know, Tiny the Tiger. And just so many classic characters are in this game that is just ridiculous. You know, one of the other things too, like aside from the characters, and I know this is completely separate from what I'm talking about right now, but the fact that the original opening animation is redone in modern day, it's such a callback to the original, and I just really I enjoyed seeing that. You know, as an older gamer in my 30s, that was just something to see that callback. I thought that was simply cool. Now, as far as modes, you have a lot of modes. You've got adventure mode, which has its own story. You can drive around to do different things, a la the original Crash Team Racing. You got to hit first place and get, you know, keys and gemstones to be able to open and, you know, go into boss races and do different things. Now that hasn't changed, and it can get difficult because there's only, I want to say, 16 to 18 tracks. You'll probably play those multiple times, but with each one having different circumstances for winning to progress the story of adventure mode. Now you've got single and multiplayer mode where you can do anything from go into battles, different types of races, do time trials, and go online and just have fun there. I mean, there's a lot of different things, a lot of opportunities for, you know, playing around. Now, in the wrap up, the question is going to be, is this game worth spending your money on? I already gave a spoiler at the beginning of the video. This game's dope. You should definitely buy it. It's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing this portably. I played it docked. You know, I played online, played with some of the other content creators I know, and we just had a lot of fun. The game's challenging. It's a very technical style of kart racer it's pick up and play, difficult to master, but very satisfying overall. The rubber banding, I know a lot of people complain about it. I don't have an issue with it. I mean, I think if you master the drifting mechanics and the different things you can do, like jumping at certain points at the highest point and getting the boost when you land, you'll be able to be fine. But that's the thing, is, you know, it presents this challenge just like any kart racer game does. But I think this does really well in the way that they made it. So I've got no complaints. I think you should definitely pick it up. It's a lot of fun. I really had a blast playing it. You know, sometimes when I was capturing footage for this review, I was actually just losing track of time, and hours would go by and I'm just playing the game and losing track of time. You know, that's how fun this is. I don't have any issues playing this on the Switch. I think it's fun because, I mean, even if you played it on the Xbox One or the PS4, I mean, aside from the graphical fidelity upgrades, it's gonna still run at the same 30 frames per second. The only knock I have against this game is the length of the loading times between, you know, races. That could definitely be improved because there is a bit of a wait. But other than that, I think the game runs pretty well. I've got no real issues other than the loading times, and I think you'll enjoy it. If you want to pick it up, I'll leave my Amazon affiliate link down in the description below. And also, if you want to pick up one of the Mekel Kasanova Worldwide tees that just got launched on our Teespring page, that also will be down in the description below. So, what do you think? You've got Crash Team Racing? If so, what do you think about it? Do you enjoy it? Do you dislike it? Is it living up to the hype, or is it just not doing it for you? Whatever your comments and thoughts are, leave it down below. Let's get the conversation going. With that being said, it's Mekel Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber, and hosting the #1 podcast in the state of Hawaii, the Kasanova Podcast. I'm signing out. Deuces wow. Too sweet. Be the elite. I hope you have a good time. And Activision, thank you guys for sending me the code. I'll catch you on the flip side.